Hello and welcome back to Our Life Beginnings and Always. Those of you that are watching this, I'm still pretty excited about it. It's a game I really enjoy, and I'm gonna burn my lunch because I want to play this. That's a dumb way of putting this, but I've got food I might have to go get at some point, and then you won't even notice because I'll probably cut that part out, but it just makes more work for me. But I want to do it that way. So, this is an exciting day for me, but we've got 5 of these left. I'm almost at the point where I kind of want to make the dice smaller, but I'm not going to. So let's see what we end up with today. If I roll this as 7, we've already done 7. Okay. 1. Oh, shopping. Shopping! Good. That's a good one. Probably not a super long one either. Let's go shopping with our buddy Cove. This is usually the first one you would do. So, it's a little interesting that this is like halfway through the moments of step 1 and we're doing this now. Come back before it gets dark, alright, sport? Come back before it gets dark, alright, sport? The familiar voice drifted across the street and drew your attention away from the snail you've been watching and slowly across the pavement. We gotta represent that snail. I saw a really good snail the other day. I was really excited about it. Let me tell you all about this snail. It was pretty big. It was inching across the pavement. I wasn't sure if I should pick it up and move it to the side of the road or just let it go. I assumed it was probably fine, but it wasn't going to dry out. I was a little nervous. It was kind of big. It was about the size of my thumb. Really cool spiral shell. Cove waited in front of his dad, pushing his green hair back off his face from where the breeze was blowing over his glasses. He looked to be paying only a mild amount of attention as he was being handed a few slips of green paper. It reminded you of when you first met Mr. Holden, although he's probably not paying Cove to be friends with himself. Cove's dad seemed to feel your gaze somehow, or maybe you made a noise because a second later his eyes were on you. He waved you over with a smile. He looked happy to see you, but you still felt a little weird for getting caught. You gotta learn how to be more sneaky. You brushed your hands together to free them of sand, then jogged over to join the two, smiling at Cove first, then his dad. So I wonder if this moment was one of the ones that was like a free demo or something like that, because the writing so far, like the way the verbiage is different than a lot of the other verbiage in some of the later moments. Oh, this is also base game and not DLC, and we'll be playing a lot of DLC moments. The DLC moments might be more polished, I don't know. But that, like, you've got to learn to be more sneaky things seem kind of weird to me. Marina, hi.
How's it going?
Good to see you again. What excitement are you up to today, Marina? Stuff! I found a really cool snail across the road. He was slimy with funny eyes and a nice shell. See, this character would totally be into slimy stuff and snails. And Mr. Holden grinned at your enthusiasm. After you finished answering the question, Mr. Holden's attention returned to Cove, who was preoccupied with folding the bills he had into a tiny rectangle. Sounds fun, you know? Cove was about to hit the stores by the beach. Why don't you go with him? You gave a ready nod, turning to squint in the direction of the stores like you could see the goods they had to offer all the way from where you stood. That's a great idea. We're gonna hang out with our bestie Cove. Go shopping. Oh, is that okay?
Yeah.
I don't mind. Great, I'm sure you guys will have loads of fun. Mr. Holden reached into his pocket and pulled out a leather wallet filled with money. You found it odd since your moms only ever seemed to have cards in theirs. I mean, I hate to say this does look kind of a difference between men and women, right? Like, guys carry stuff. I feel like guys carry stuff like that around more than ladies do, but not necessarily. I guess my mom carries a lot of cash around, so I don't know. Here. He leaned to pass the crisp 10 to Cove, giving him a wink and a whisper. Get something for your friend, too. Sure.
Good kid.
That's my boy. Cove's dad ruffled his sun hair as he was straightening back up, the bill in his hand still held out towards the green-haired boy. It's just this gulf between them. I don't understand ever. Take care. Cove accepted the bill after a second and slipped it into his pocket. Then, with one last nod to his dad, he turned and started walking. He followed after him, intrigued by all the possibilities this outing might bring. So I commented on this with people before, but I feel like these characters are kind of wealthy. But then again, I think back to my own childhood, where my parents aren't rich. They don't have, they never had, those kinds of jobs. But we still were allowed to, always given money for stuff like this, always allowed to do whatever we wanted with our money. We got lots of presents at birthdays and Christmas. We never really wanted for anything. You never really noticed that your parents had any issues with money. There was never any kind of struggle for that. So, like, you know, it's interesting to me. I guess it's more like that. I think your moms are more middle class. I think later you do get to explore what the moms do for a living. I forget what it is, though. What they do. I think Lonnie might actually be a personal trainer or something like that. Obviously, Cove's dad is a surf guy, and he runs a store that sells, like, surfing stuff. Like a diving and surfing shop. Probably a diving instructor, surfing instructor. Which isn't like this huge thing, but he does own his own store, so they're like upper middle class people, you know. They've got money, they can do what they want. They can let their kids go shopping in the shopping district. Cove strayed towards the gentle tide creeping up the sand, and you fell into place beside him. It was a nice day. The sun was shining, and there weren't many clouds in the sky, though the wind coming off the ocean kept it from being too hot. You took in a deep breath, enjoyed the scent of salt and ocean air. Man, that must be nice. When you looked at Cove, he was dragging his feet through the sand a little, and you slowed down to wait for him. His eyes searched the ground intently. Are you looking for snails? Are you looking for shells? What is it? You didn't feel the need to ask why. Nah, you're looking for snails. We like snails. Cove looked over at you, wrinkling his nose. Who would want something like that? You felt the urge to defend the activity you'd been indulging in only a short while ago. A lot of people? No way, they're weird, and you can't take them anywhere because they're bugs? You have to leave them alone. They're not bugs, Cove. They're mollusks? Cove chuckled to himself and that ended the discussion. You think whatever he wants and you'll think about your own things. The comforting sound of the waves filled the silence of pleasant, white noise, and you played the little game with yourself as you walked along, getting close to the water as possible without getting wet. It resulted in you having to run up the sand quickly when the wave rushed in more than a few times, and although Cove threw a few glances your way, he didn't say a word. That's a game I've played before! Yeah, as the kid. Because I grew up near places like this. You didn't either? What did you want to go to the shops for? What do you usually do on the beach? What do you usually do on the beach, Cove? Lots of things. I like bodyboarding and volleyball and surfing and everything and stuff. The idea of staying in a big board while the waves propelled you towards the store is mystifying. I'm not allowed to surf. It looks hard. Oh, don't worry, Marina. You're going to be a surf girl. That's your thing when you get older. Not once you get the hang of it. I could show you sometime. But I'm also not supposed to surf right now because I have this. He lifted up his arm, showing off the glowing pink cast wrapped around his wrist. Yeah, that's sad for him. Cove still smiled, though. You thought of his nonchalant attitude toward the injury was pretty brave. I also like collecting stuff on the shore. Shells, sand dollars. I found a shark tooth once. You did? Cove stretched out his forefinger and thumb. It was this long. That's somehow both scary and delightful. I love the idea of these two 8-year-olds just having this discussion on the middle of the beach. No way! I mean it. I still have it under my bed. You'd have to remember to ask him to show it to you sometime.
So...
What about you? What do you do out here? I don't come to the beach a lot. I like swimming, I like looking at the fish, I like to build sandcastles, and I like swimming. Cove's lip curled up in a smile. Me too. It occurred to you that you hadn't been swimming in a while. There was just so much to do before school started up again and so little time. Once you reached the shopping area, the noise level grew exponentially. No longer just waves and footsteps, but the chatter of people enjoying the lovely summer day, the call of birds trying to find bits of food left behind, and lots of salespeople trying to get attention. And suddenly the really loud music that is louder than any of the other music in the game has been so far. You sniffed the air as you walked beside its cove. You could still smell the ocean, but there were other scents now too. Pizza, pretzels, hot donuts. Just in case I don't get a full blank shopping district. Also, was this like some kind of movie going on over here? It was nice. It was not nice. It was alright. It was nice. The energy surrounding the area seemed to fill you, and there was a bounce in your step as you began looking at the familiar sights. There were so many things to do, you didn't know where to begin. I love this art for the shopping district, too. You looked at Cove, hoping he was just as excited as you were. Cove was glancing around from one side of the street to the other with a look in his aquamarine eyes he couldn't quite work out. What's that? Cove pointed to a large crowd of people gathered near fresh tables with large colorful umbrellas blooming from their middles. You couldn't see past the adults who were blocking the way, but you knew there must be something worth seeing. Without another word, the two of you hurried over to see what all the commotion was about. Feast your eyes on the amazing Alexander! Actually, no, I should do the, this makes me think of, you ever see Josie and the Pussycats? That's what this made me think of when I saw it. Josie and the Pussycats was one of those shows that was, came out after Scooby-Doo did, in the late 60s, early 70s. To be like one of those Scooby-Doo kind of knockoff shows where it's a bunch of kids solving ghost mysteries, but they had a direct Fred ripoff and a direct Shaggy ripoff. And the Shaggy ripoff was named Alexander, and he was kind of egotistical. He looked like Shaggy and had a similar voice, but he didn't act like Shaggy. He was a coward, but he wasn't like that kind of way. He was really egotistical, and I think he even called himself the Amazing Alexander, so we're gonna do that instead. Feast your eyes on the Amazing Alexander! In the center of the crowd was a man with a tall hat and a funny green coat that had 3 long tails. There was a little table next to him with a cloth hanging over it that read The Amazing Alexander in glittery golden script. Why tell people his name if it's already on the sign? So, like, it might have been Casey Kasem that voiced him, too. There's a Scooby-Doo and Josie and the Pussycats crossover, where all those characters meet each other, and it's really funny, because some of the characters are like the same character. Cove hummed with understanding, then turned to walk away just as the Amazing Alexander began shuffling a deck of cards. I want to see the show. Cove glanced back at the man, then he briefly lifted his arms up on his side before returning them to place. I don't remember, Saro's character, if she was more shy about this, or if they make you act out of character just to see the show, but Marina would definitely want to see it, so it doesn't really matter, but yeah.
Okay.
He may not be impressed, but at least he didn't get you. He grinned, waving for him to follow you as you raced back to stand in the crowd. With that, it began. The Magic Man pulled one card out of the deck, showing it to the curious onlookers. It was a 4 of diamonds. Watch closely! You did, squeezing through a few of the other onlookers to get a better view. Suddenly, the man snapped his fingers and the card just disappeared. Whoa! The Amazing Alexander, who had earned his title, turned his head and looked directly at you. He reached out with a kind smile. What's this behind your ear? Nothing. Tell me. You backed away. Nothing? It was true. You didn't keep anything there. He smelled like popcorn and candy when he stepped closer, and you wrinkled your nose in confusion as you watched him. Felt a tug and then pulled the 4 of diamonds out from behind your ear. So why would this guy smell like that? Is he regularly a carny? Is that what they're implying here? What? You knew that it couldn't really have come from your ear, but you still didn't get how he'd done it. There was a light applause from the crowd, and the man gave a deep bow. This is for you. The magician plucked a pair of balloons from a clump and tied them down to his table. Tied down to his table. Both were in the shape of a dolphin instead of being a normal circle. And one for your friend, too. Thanks for being my assistant. Wow. Now you really were grateful he chose you. After that, he went to someone else in the crowd. Pick a card, any card. I forgot that's how you get the dolphin balloons. I thought you bought them. My uncle does that every time he visits. Not the balloons, the stuff with the cards. Cove spoke plainly when reaching out to take the dolphin that had been designated for him. Maybe it wasn't so special. Cove was just ruining the fun. At least you had a fun time. You wondered if Cove's whole family was magic. Oh my god. You wondered if Cove's whole family is magic. This is a Marina Foster thing right here. Magic? If so, he was lucky. Oh hey. There we go. There it is. This is the full thing right here with no Cove in it. Look at, I love how it just goes down. Oh my god, that's so cool. The crowd started to clear off some, and you noticed that the side was a whole rack of brightly colored kaleidoscopes on display. You picked up a kaleidoscope, you picked up a Rubik's Cube, you picked up a magic 8-ball, you walked past the toys. Kaleidoscope. Oh, Cove, check this out! You shifted your balloon string to your other hand so you could bring the mysterious tunnel to your eye. A whole palette of colors appeared right in front of you, spinning to all the kinds of different shapes as you twisted the end of the tube. I love these things, okay? I love them! Cove picked up one and looked through, twisting the tube at the end. After a second, he set it back on the rack, moving to the other side of the stall. He went under the awning, careful of his own floating dolphin, and you joined him. Do you have places like this in your old town? Are you having fun? I don't really like it here. You said nothing. How about, are you having fun? I feel like Cove should be concerned if Cove is having fun. He nodded, and you smiled back at him, happy to hear it. When Cove moved towards some stalls nearby, you followed beside him. Whoa! Look at this! I forgot we could see them! Oh my god, they're so cute! When Cove looked at the sand pails, you were drawn to a table with colorful keychains laid out on it. They were sewn in the shape of sea creatures, and there was a plaque that read "Handmade" standing proudly out front. There were lots of different types, and you saw a dolphin, a shark, a crab, and a turtle. I mean, I'll give you a minute. In your head, which one of these is Marina Foster most interested in? Lock in your answers now. Who wants to be a millionaire? A. Dolphin. B. Shark. C. Crab. D. Turtle. Dun dun. Your hand stopped on the shark, a devious smirk filled with sharp teeth on his face. Goblin energy. You weren't supposed to go near sharks in real life, but there was something about this shark you liked, and the fabric on its back was soft and you picked it up. You were instantly enamored. Checking out the price though, your heart fell. $6? You didn't know much about money, but you thought that was a lot to spend on one thing. You rarely had more than a $5 bill to your name. Is that what you want? Huh? Oh. It's $6. I didn't bring any money. Cove's dad literally gave him $10 in front of you to spend on you.
Alright.
It's fine. Really? Really? Are you sure? You don't have to. I don't want you to get it from me. Really? Really? Cove took the keychain from your hands, and that was that. He was holding a small yellow bucket for himself. I was always gonna get you something. I already got the money for it. You beamed, excited at the display of exciting. The idea of displaying the keychain somewhere in your room. It was nice of Cove's dad to let Cove buy something for you too. You had to remember to thank him next time you saw him. I mean, we could have had our own $20 for that, man. After Cove paid, the two of you stepped out of the store side by side, your balloon dolphins knocking together and spiraling around in the air. You watched Cove hold up his new pail to his face, examining it thoroughly. Hey, Cove. Yeah? Why is your dad always giving people money? Thanks for the keychain, forget it. Why is your dad always giving people money? Nah, thanks for the keychain. Don't worry about it. Cove looked up farther down the street where different food carts were lined up. He rested his non-cast arm over his stomach and just as he did yours, let out a light growl. Just as he did yours, let out a light growl. There we go. Yeah, I guess that's probably another in into the, oh, by the way, your dad tried to give me $20 one time conversation. But, nah. She's not gonna bring that up. You hadn't eaten since breakfast, and after all, once wandering around, you were definitely ready for some lunch. That's true of me in real life. And actually, that's a great well, no. Let's get some food. Yeah. You two wandered around for a short while, looking at all the delicacies that were available. Everything looked delicious, and as the different smells, both sweet and salty, wafted over to you, your stomach growled even louder. After passing up hot dogs, snow cones, ice cream, and pizza, you both agreed on pretzels. Cove got something sweet and cinnamon, and you got a plain one, got one with cheese, got one with sprinkles, got one with chocolate, got the same. No. Chocolate! A little chocolate! You licked your lips hungrily at the vendor handed your pretzel over, ready to take a big bite. It had tiny marshmallows on it and was dripping with chocolate, just how you liked it. Right? Your moms didn't like you to eat too much sugar, but this was a special occasion. Yeah, F moms! F the moms, right? They're not here. They can't tell me what to do. They can't tell me what to eat. You found an empty table close enough to the beach, and the grit of sand made terrible noises when you dragged out the chairs to sit down. These balloons are gonna make it hard to eat. Cove placed his bucket on the table as he stared at the still ball of pan that was wrapped around the string. You opened your mouth to agree before an idea hit you. I know. After carefully placing your pretzel somewhere it wouldn't get sandy, you tied the balloon dolphin out of Cove's hand and tied it in a delicate bow around his wrist.
Oh.
I love his little frog. Cove bounced his arm up and down in place, testing the stability of your knot. After watching his balloon jostle around but remain attached, he smiled, satisfied. There, now do mine! He repeated the ritual. Cove struggled somewhat with the caps restricting his fingers in one hand and the string already tangled around the other.
Okay.
Got it. The two of you spent a moment admiring your handiwork, both hands now free to allow easy munching on your pretzels. You bit into a doughy treat, savoring the taste in your tongue with a smile as you looked out over the ocean. After a time you finished your pretzel. You were done before Cove. It was boring not to have to do anything to do. You pulled on the string of your balloon to bring it down to your level, and then you held the dolphin in your hand, manipulating it to make it look like it was jumping through the air. It turned to face toward the beach. If you turned toward to face toward the beach, it almost looked like it was swimming in the waves like a real dolphin. A laugh came from your side. When you glanced back at Cove, he had left the remaining part of his pretzel on his wrapper and was gripping his dolphin too. Mine's name is Merryweather. He's the prince of the dolphins. My name is Splash. They star in movies. My name is Cherry. She's actually an alien. Mine's name is Sam. They're just a regular dolphin. No. Aliens. Merryweather. No, it's Cherry. Aliens. I'm not trying to say it's aliens, but it's aliens. When no one's looking, she transforms back into her true alien self. She has purple skin and 10 eyes. You sighed, wishing you could meet a real-life alien. What's yours? Cove considered the question, placing the balloon against the table and resting his free arm across it in contemplation. It's... With a loud... The dolphin exploded into ribbons. Oh no! For a second, all Cove did was gasp in shock, like you. Then his cheeks puffed up, squinting his eyes, and you saw tears start to glisten. Marina and... You made a joke? You offered to find Alexander? You offered to give Cove your balloon? He didn't say anything. He'd be alright. He'd be alright. Let's do this one. Maybe the amazing Alexander is still there. I'm sure he'll give you another one if we tell him what happened. After a long second, Cove gave a tiny nod of his head. Took his hand. He's sad. Our friend is sad. We gotta do that. You took hold of Cove's hand. He brought his gaze back down and gripped yours in turn. The two of you walked up and down the street, but you saw no sign of the amazing Alexander. Finally, you were forced to give up. Still, it seemed to lift Cove's spirits, and that was good. The passing of Cove's balloon was the last major event of your adventure. In the end, the two of you headed back late that afternoon. You separated on the beach, and while Cove went straight home with his brand new sand pail in hand, you decided to sit for a while. You watched the waves and the sunset fiddling with your new keychain. Another summer day was drawing to a close. It had been a good one, except for the sad final note. Yeah, that's a short one. That was a really short one, and that was, I guess I probably could have waited to get my chicken. Like another couple minutes. I thought there was a whole thing with the dolphin balloon, where you had to like... Maybe because I picked the Go Find Alexander, that was the short and quick way of doing it that didn't really do anything. I don't know. Like, I was gonna, if you offer to give him yours, I think there's a whole conversation about that maybe that goes on for a few minutes. I don't know, or maybe I'm crazy. Anyway, we're more than halfway through step 1 now. We've got grown up, long day, which I don't remember. Remember exactly either one of these. I remember what library is, and I remember what sleepover is, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. So we'll see us next time. Take care.